everyone, Renee here with my skincare favorites of 2022. As per usual, I'm going to go through the standout skincare formulas of the year for me, or what I've been the most excited to use. Of course, top of the list is predictable. Don't worry, I will keep this short, but out of all my years of trying formula, this is the one that is the most dear to me. The Essence, my collaboration with Saro. This took 2.5 years to develop, and every single decision that was made in this was deliberate and intentional to just bring the best of the best for our skin. The goal was to create the essence that would replace all essences for me and possibly other steps in routine, and we would all live happily ever after. At this point, I've used this through all the seasons and even skin conditions when my skin has been extremely irritated, raw, and sensitive. And it never ceases to give my skin so much comfort and make it look good despite what the circumstances may be, whether this is the only thing I apply on my face in my routine or if it's part of a more extensive one. If I could, I would end the video right here, right now, but I am a reasonable person and there are other formulas I would love to share. So a regular fixture in my routines has been the Ordinary's Multi-Peptide Lash and Brow Serum. A friend of mine saw results in 2 weeks. I started to see results after a month of use. And even then, as I kept using it, I started to notice more things. And as I mentioned in my last routine, somewhere around month 2 and 3, my eyelashes started curling upwards as though I used an eyelash curler. I could not find the replacement I had, so I haven't been able to get it together to get a new replacement. So I haven't been using it on my lashes, but it seems to be the serum that keeps giving because my lashes continue to grow strong and look long and lifted. So it seems to be a lasting thing that just comes from maybe my eyelashes being healthier. I'm going to continue using this. I love the results. I love that there are no prostaglandins and yet it still has an effect on my lashes. While the purpose of the first cleanser for me is always about the removal, everything sitting on the surface of your skin, it just does that kind of heavy lifting. The second cleanser is just cleansing the skin. Some days I want a gentle caress and other days I need something just a little more. Most days, and particularly during this time of year, when everything is just harsher on the skin, whether you're indoors or outdoors, I prefer a second cleanser that is that comforting, gentle caress on my skin. And my new favorite for that is from Paula's Choice, from their new Calm collection, the Ultra Gentle Cleanser. I feel so grateful and honored to have had the opportunity to be involved and lend my voice during the development of this brand, and to see it come to life has been, really beyond my expectations. I will always have a special place in my heart for the Optimal Results Hydrating Cleanser, but this is my new boo now. It's a really simple formula, and that lush, thick, pudding-like texture just makes cleansing a pleasure. I even spend a lot of time massaging around my eyes using this, and that doesn't sting at all. If there's anything residual, this will remove it. And also, it doesn't leave the skin feeling stripped or tight or dry, even in drier circumstances. For the days where I need something more intense, a second cleanser that I've been really excited about, it's filled a gap in my routine actually. I've been looking for something new, and this is a relatively newer launch, but I've had it over a month now and I've been using it non-stop. From The Ordinary, their Glucoside Foaming Cleanser. So a few things, but really finally a second cleanser that I can use in the Ordinary range. Actually, just under Decium in general. I think what really makes this unique to me is its sheer simplicity. It is the most simple, basic formula with only 8 ingredients, and it really speaks true to the brand. This is around $12. It has a clear gel texture, and a little bit goes a long way. This really spreads beautifully, and it has a very light, loose foaming action. It's really not, a very foamy cleanser, but it does feel satisfying and it is very gentle. Did I mention that? The pH of this ranges between 5 and 6, which is perfection. It really maintains the health of your skin barrier. Your skin does not feel dry after rinsing this off, but it is a more satisfying cleanse. So I think particularly if you have normal to oily skin, especially if you're someone who wants your cleanser to be completely no nonsense, you don't need all the fancy smanchy ingredients in your cleanser because you feel it's just going to spend minimal time on your skin and you just want it to cleanse gently and efficiently, it really doesn't get simpler. For the extra over-the-top hydration and glazed donut look. I love the Hada Labo HA Supreme concentrates. Anything new from Hada Labo is a guaranteed try for me, so when I saw these 3 serums, I had to. 3 serums with the same base formula and different focuses. My favorite one is the Vita, but that's only because I feel like I have to choose a favorite. Otherwise, the user experience across the board is pretty similar. The Vita is their brightening concentrate, so it has vitamins for brightening the skin tone, like niacinamide. These can be used in partnership with the Hada Labo lotions or on their own, as you've seen me use them in my earlier skincare routines this year. When you use them in partnership with the Hada Labo lotions, it really kind of takes things over the top. You will have the plumpest, bounciest, and reflective skin. I love a good milky formula, especially during this time of year. One that I've been reaching for non-stop in my routines is this one from Wishtrend, their Cera-barrier Soothing Ampoule. I love this because it's similar but different from a milky toner in the best ways possible, and you know I love a milky toner. I've been using this after my essence and before moisturizer. It kind of has replaced an oil serum for me because it's just got that perfect balance between lipids and hydration. This is a more serum-like texture. It applies in a very hydrating way, and it is lightly, very, very lightly moisturizing. You don't feel anything sitting on your skin. It's not oily at all. I've mentioned before that the texture is a little thicker than Laneige's Cream Skin, but it applies far more elegantly and not greasy or oily at all. And the cream skin, I find, tends to be very, very oily. So there's quite a lot going on in here. It has 69% Centella asiatica extract, and you really do feel the calming and soothing aspect. This has ceramide and P, as well as 7 different well-aging peptides. The oils in this emulsion are also drier, lighter oils like squalane and sunflower oil. I was really excited for this 1% BHA from Paula's Choice New Calm collection. It's so gentle. This can also be used on rosacea-prone skin. So this is a gentler but still really effective salicylic acid treatment for those who feel that 2% is just too much on their skin. Plus, this is full of ingredients that are just really soothing for the skin as well. I actually like the gel format. It does feel very refreshing, but also it allows me to spot treat, which is usually how I like to use my BHAs when my skin is feeling very congested. It's always around here, here, or here. I don't really use it around my cheeks. This also doesn't sit heavily on the skin either. Maybe it's me, but also this gel format gives it a slight blurring effect. When I use it, it almost makes the texture seem smoother. And even though it dries down completely, I do feel like it leaves a little bit of a moisturizing effect. I've been really impressed with some of the new formulas from by Wishtrend. Another one that I would highly recommend is their Vitamin A Amazing Bakuchiol Night Cream. This is a true hybrid formula. It is a retinaldehyde treatment and it is a moisturizer, and it does both things really, really well. Retinaldehyde has always been my favorite non-prescription retinoid. This contains 0.03% retinol, which makes it equivalent to Medicaid's Crystal Retinol 3, because Medicaid is really what I used for years, so I kind of reference everything according to that. This would be their lowest concentration, available for beginners, or if you're like me, this is a great treatment that I use on my alternate days when I'm not using Tret. I use Tret every other day. I also find this a great treatment as you phase into stronger or prescription retinoids. Paired with 1% Bakuchiol, it's a great partnership. It's another ingredient that is just so great to help with well-aging skin. As a moisturizer, this is silky, it's substantial, it's light, it's not really heavy. This does leave a glowier skin finish, which is what I love, but it's not so much that I feel it would be a turnoff for those with oilier skin types. If anything, I think if you have drier skin, you may even want to layer a moisturizer over this. So while we're on the subject of moisturizer, the one that I've used the most consistently this year is from Manufactory, from their Our Vegan line, their Heartleaf Cica cream. This has appeared in my routines through early in 2022, all the way through to this fall, because that really is just how versatile it is. I'm particular to a lot of Korean moisturizers for exactly this reason. They just seem to get that texture perfect for my taste. It's moisturizing enough for the drier months, but at the same time, it's hydrating and also lightweight enough for the hotter summer months. For a good, well-aging nightly eye treatment, I've been loving from Dr. Sam Bunting, her Flawless Nightly Eye Serum. So it is a serum and a moisturizer in one. This has the hard-working actives, the retinoids, the niacinamide, the vitamin C derivative to brighten this area, but it's also got the moisture to really soften any kind of fine lines. I can put it on my upper mobile lid as well. I don't wake up with heaviness or puffiness. In fact, if anything, it's the reverse. This has really helped the appearance of my tired eyes. And it's all wrapped in this beautiful silky texture that dries down pretty quickly, but still leaves this protective layer. It's been a while since I've come across a new overnight mask that has made me want to use it. But then the Farmacy's 10% niacinamide night mask was hard to resist for me. I do love a niacinamide blast, but also I think it's such a great idea to have it in a sleeping pack. So this is an occasional weekly treatment, but also I'm someone who wakes up in the morning with really red cheeks, like it's flushed, but it's like rosacea flushed. It's a combination of things. It's the heating units. It's also the way I sleep. I thrash around like a wild animal. And also a lot of times I am on my face. This treatment is very soothing overnight. It really does something to calm the redness and all, because I wake up in the morning with skin that looks noticeably brighter, but it also feels nice and juicy. This has that very typical Korean sleeping pack texture, which is creamy gelish, but also the color is like I feel soothed just looking at this. This is very hydrating, and really, you do not need to use a lot. You just need a little bit. It spreads really well, and you just want that thin layer. During the summertime, this is that perfect texture for, you know, as a night moisturizer. I'll use my essence, and then I'll just apply the overnight mask in lieu of moisturizer. 2022 is the year that saw more new sunscreens than really any time in history. So I'm going to show you my personal favorites in 3 different categories that I just seem to reach for more than the others. This year was the return of all the Korean sunscreens. A lot of the sunscreens felt very similar. Base formulas are very similar with just a few adjustments here and there for preference. What I do appreciate though is that these new formulas come with so much more transparency and caution, just to make sure that what happened before never happens again. Probably my favorite of them all, the one that I just use the most, is from Klairs. Their all-day Airy sunscreen with an SPF of 50 and a PA of 4+. The formula was tested by 3 different labs. All the results are published on their website, and you can see that all the results came back with an SPF of higher than 50. I just love this so much. In fact, this is even better than what I remember the previous UV Airy essence to be. The texture is delightful. It's that refreshing, hydrating gel texture that's slightly moisturizing but not heavy at all. Leaves a beautiful hydrated skin finish. I can apply 2 layers of this, completely invisible, weightless, and it sits really well under makeup as well. It just makes my skin look good. So for those extreme exposure days, for outdoor sports, for holidays, for hiking, anytime where I'm going to be outdoors for a long time and during the times when the sun is strongest, the formula that I personally go for the most is this new one from Anessa. Their Perfect UV Sunscreen Skincare Milk with an SPF of 50+, a PA of 4+, and this is their 2022 version. So again, this formula has been updated with even newer and better technology to really better protect our skin. The strength in Anessa's technology has always been when you need it the most, it kind of doubles down in its protection. So where other sunscreens may start to be compromised, this gets even stronger. So when we're sweating, now it's even more resistant to water, to sand, to friction. So even if you're wearing a mask, this formula in particular takes into account the importance of just having a really even, light, but even and uniform shield on your skin. Just that layer that just nothing can get through. There are no spots. The application, which already was as good as can be, is just getting better. You know, I like the milk because even though it is weightless and it just kind of glides on your skin when you're applying it, but at the same time, it still feels like there's a little bit of moisturizing happening. There also is a bit of a blurring effect. This is a great makeup primer. It sits really well under makeup. This also has such a wide variety of sunscreen filters, so when it counts, this is what I reach for. My favorite all-mineral sunscreen is this one from Bloom Effects. Their Tulip Dew Vitamins and Minerals Sunscreen Serum with an SPF of 50. So this I discovered through my Bakuchiol subscription. As you know, Bakuchiol is my favorite place to just discover some of the most beautifully well-curated new indie skincare items. I love that it's an SPF of 50, which tends to be more rare with all mineral sunscreens. They generally tend to have an SPF of 30. This uses zinc oxide, about 12%. It's a serum-like runny texture, but also it gives you this really healthy, beautiful, dewy finish. As usual, you just really have to shake this well before you apply it. And when you first start applying it, it looks as though it may have a cast, but that quickly just dissipates and blends out into your skin. Of course, if you have a darker skin tone, this may show up with a bit of a cast on your skin. Otherwise, this is just a lovely thin formula that looks like good skin. I would say that probably those with normal to drier skin types would appreciate this. This texturally reminds me a bit of the Elias serums, but those have coverage when you apply it light and natural, but still coverage. This doesn't have coverage. There are a couple of devices that I have loved this year. One of them is the L&L Skin UV Magic Mirror, which, I mean, this is just so much fun. Basically, it's a mirror that shows you whether or not you've applied your sunscreen evenly. It shows you where you have applied your sunscreen. This only works if your sunscreen has chemical filters in it, which most of the time mine does. And, you know, I love using it just to check and make sure. I mean, it's surprising where you tend to forget to apply. So, you know, a lot of times around the crevices of the nose and around this area here, and yeah. But also I love using it to see during the day if there are certain areas that have been rubbed off and I need to apply. The Light Salon's LED color I love because it is so versatile, probably their most versatile device yet. You can use this in so many ways around your neck, on your scalp, which is something that I just started doing because I have been losing a lot of hair. I've seen that people have gotten really good results doing LED treatments on here. I love LED. I really feel it has a positive effect on my skin, but also on inflammation, on different parts of my body as well. So this also works really well on the hands. And one of the things I love the most about the Light Salon is that with every device, they are so thoughtful with the different straps that they supply you, so you can really use them with so much versatility, but also the pouches to store your device with all the different pockets. So that's it for my yearly roundup of favorites. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, I'm wishing you all great skin health for 2023. Bye.